Steve Lawrence, Make Your Mark. Great title. What's the book about and why did you write it?
The book is really about character and building character, and it's full of lots of different stories from public life, from history, from literature, about leadership and about character. And the reason I wrote it was really to be able to help people develop character and become more themselves, to become better people, to become better leaders, teachers, fathers, mothers, husbands, wives, whatever they do, to be better at that, to become the best that they can be, and to try and inspire them and equip them with keys that will equip them to be able to do that on a practical level.
Well, Steve, it's a very short book. It's only 69 pages, but it has a lot packed into it, including at the end of each chapter, you actually put several questions that challenge the reader. What's that all about?
Well, it's one thing to hear something and be moved and perhaps be inspired or challenged, but it's another thing to actually examine yourself and assess yourself and say, well, where am I on this? Where am I on this point? Or how can I improve in that area? Or what's the next step? Or what's important now? Whatever question it might be, they're very simple questions, but designed for a self-assessment really, and so that people can focus in what they need to do here and now on the daily basis on a simple way.
It is about the personal question of values. Because in the book you talk about the hardest thing to do sometimes has to be done because it's right. Now, you were in a bus travelling with the Hawthorn Football Club and you actually saw the driver turn on a pornographic movie. What did you do?
Well, I wanted to avoid it. Part of me, I was sitting right at the back of the bus and I didn't really want to have to deal with the opposition of a whole bunch of my teammates, but I knew it was going on. I thought, well, something has to be done. So I found myself walking to the front of the bus and eventually just asked the bus driver, told him, you really need to turn that off. And surprisingly, he did. And then I expected to be harangued by my teammates, but interestingly, no one said a thing. In fact, no one said anything for 18 years until one of my teammates, Andy Collins, raised it and said that and I thought no one had ever thought about it, it was gone. But in fact, he told me that thousands of people have heard that story from his lips all around South Australia. So it taught me something that, in fact, you never know your audience, and it's really important just to do what's right no matter what, whether people are watching or not, because it has its own power doing what's right. So.
And talking about the football, you had a chance as a young person, around about 17, you went to Hawthorn, but you would have experienced great leadership in the Hawthorn Football Club and awareness.
I was really fortunate to arrive at Hawthorn in that, the sort of back end of that fantastic era of the 80s. Dermy and Dipper and Gary Ayres and Michael Tuck. My coach was Alan Jeans. So there was a great culture of success and a great culture of support and challenging one another and getting the best out of one another, just encouragement. So that was a fantastic foundation for my career. In many ways, I would have liked that to have gone on to the end. There was different periods, but I did see people of great character, and I was very much challenged to be the best I could be in that environment.
And Steve, we've just had an election, which has been pretty bruising in all sorts of ways. Mm-hmm. And you've basically said publicly that it's time to reset the personal values in Australian politics. What do you mean by that?
Well, I think when people run for office, they're making a huge sacrifice. They're wanting to get out there and serve our country. Whatever their political views and their positions, it doesn't really matter. I think we need to make sure that we really encourage and respect one another, honour the fact that they're trying to do that. We shouldn't be having public assaults and all sorts of mistreatment of people just because they have a different perspective. I think we need to develop a new kind of dialogue of respect, even and reasoned discussion, which is something that I think we can really step up on. I think we're better than that, Australians. I think we do really have a sense of fairness. We have a sense of what's good and decent, what's good for the community. And I remember being struck with Alan Jeans. One of the things he used to say was, you might not like me, you might not agree with me, but you must respect my office. And I think even if people haven't yet been voted in, but people who are willing to have a go, I think we should really respect them and support them. And, that will help bring good people forward as well.
Steve Lawrence, thank you very much for taking us down the track of finding out about making your mark? Obviously, you've made yours.
Hoping to make it more. Thanks, Ron.